Consider our very human hands. Flesh and bone, blood, skin, nails, muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, cartilage. So very complex, precious, and powerful. Consider all the ways our hands serve us and others in mundane and sacred ways. Hands hold, grasp, pick up, reach out, push, pull, lift, squeeze, stroke, point, clench, feel, sense, touch, fidget, signal, wave, fist bump, and high five. In the gesturing of our hands, we communicate. We express ourselves in articulations more universal and revealing than language. From the moment we are born to the moment that we die, hands will hold us, care for us, feed us, serve us, provide for us, and ultimately dispose of us. We want those hands to be gentle, kind, and compassionate, skilled and careful in their tasks. The mystery, though, and the reality is that there are hands that are put to good use, that take action, care, heal, create, love, bless, bring pleasure and beauty, give and receive in equal measure. But there are other hands that are idle, and worse yet, that steal, hit, hurt, cause pain, destruction, and death through rage, abuse, cruelty, inhumanity, pure evil. We will come to know the hands and intimate touch of our beloveds and intimate strangers, and they will come to know ours. We will come to know hands that hurt, betray, violate, and destroy. And we will struggle to understand and come to terms with the suffering that they cause, never understanding, never accepting the reasons why. Some hands will save a life, and others will take a life, perhaps more than one, on purpose, by accident, by neglect. Some hands we can trust, and others we cannot. The work of our own hands will bless others as the work of so very many hands blesses us. The hands of those who plant, harvest, and prepare our food, who take any part in meeting our basic needs or helping us with the activities of daily living, our needs for hygiene, clothing, shelter, safety, communication, transportation, education, and medical treatment. Hands that fix, build, deliver, make, write, type, drive, direct, dig, garden, fish, farm, sew, nurse, cook, arrange flowers, play the piano, and on the list goes. The tasks our hands are capable of are infinite. With our hands, we learn about and make our way through the world around us. We survive, we connect, we work towards a purpose. With our hands, we serve and experience both the mundane everyday and the sacred stuff of life. The work and play of our hands may leave them soft, silky, and clean, or permanently stained with dirt and grease, maybe battered, scraped, scarred, bruised, and aching, stiff, swollen, painful, numb, immobile, with age, with illness, gnarled and wrinkled, still beautiful, still of use. Consider those born without hands or with congenital hand anomalies and how they adapt and use other parts of their body to serve similar functions and become amazing and capable people. Consider those who lose their fingers, hands, or arms, or become paralyzed, and caregivers become their hands. And the teams of physicians, surgeons, biomedical engineers, scientists, and therapists who treat them with prosthetics and new robotic technology to regain function, and not so far in the future, the sense of touch. Consider those who do not want to be touched at all or have sensory issues. We humans are a diverse mystery in all of our forms. It is said that it is the work of God's hands that made the moon and the stars, the earth and her creatures, and that we humans are in turn God's hands on earth. That it is our sacred duty to care for, help, and take responsibility for one another, like the healing team that I just described. Consider the image painted by Michelangelo on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, the creation of Adam. God's right hand is depicted passing the divine spark of life, of creation, to the outstretched hand of Adam, a charge, a bestowing, a symbol of transmission from one being to another. And I can't help but think of energy healers who practice hands-on healing, or when ministers are ordained with the laying on of hands, or when a priest gives a blessing. A simple transmission of unconditional love through the energy centers in the hands with loving touch, a love, a life force that we all have access to. And there are those that believe that the hand of God is still playing a part in human affairs and use the expression to explain positive turns of events that are mysterious and inexplicable. Some people feel that they are held in God's hands, as in the Christian spiritual, He's got the whole world in His hands, or the Irish blessing where we wish others held in the palm of God's hand until we meet again. Just a couple of days ago, I read the newsletter of a spiritual teacher who teaches about the divine feminine, and she wrote of her surrender to and trust in her with a capital H, as she dealt and is dealing with illness and death in her family. She wrote, "I kept putting myself in her hands. I am still putting myself in her hands." There is a primal quality of holding that all humans need. And for this woman and others, the Great Mother, or the God that they believe in and have a relationship with, provides that holding, that solace, that comfort. They have a faithful trust that they are being cared for and held by the divine. I suspect that this is directly related to the human need for touch, skin contact, and holding in early infant development, that infant caregiver bonding that builds our trust that our needs will be met. Yet we all know the devastating physical and emotional consequences to infants and children when they are not held, not touched, and not properly cared for with loving and attentive hands. And how sad it is that in these pandemic years, so many have suffered in isolation with a lack of touch, of hugs, handshakes, physical contact, interaction, and attention, and even the ability to hold hands in a circle with our fellow congregants. Not everyone believes or has trust in divine powers that hold us and all that is. Some believe that humanity's fate rests squarely in human hands and actions, that it is our responsibility, as in the version of the song we just sang, we've got the whole world in our hands. The rivers, oceans, trees, flowers, air, the whales and dolphins, all of creation created for us. And we need to be reminded to appreciate our abundance and be good stewards. We use the phrase in great hands or in good hands to describe someone who will be caring for or serving another. When someone makes a referral or a recommendation to another by assuring us that we will be in great hands or in good hands, we know that we will be in capable, competent, and trustworthy hands. The expression in our hands is a metaphor that describes our agency, the power we have to act, to make a choice, to initiate, to decide on a way forward in any given situation, dilemma, or conflict. That we are powerful, not powerless. In Jewel's song called Hands, the beginning lyrics say, "If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay, and not to worry, because worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I will not be made useless. I won't be idled with despair. I will gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear." And then the chorus, "My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken." These lyrics speak to me of active hope and responsibility, of realizing how we can make our own unique contributions with the work of our hands. We are uniquely capable, as unique as our own fingerprints, one of a kind. Seers and mystics, psychics and palmists, or trained hand analysts believe they can read futures, fortunes, and destinies in the lines and palms of our hands, that they can see directly into our soul. However, we mere mortals know that the power to bless or curse the world lies in our literal hands, in the hands of the collective, in the hands of those in power who take away or give rights or give orders, in the hands of those with weapons. I know so many of us are numb or enraged with grief over mass shootings, 300 so far this year, and just everyday shootings in this country and the wars around the globe, and so many other horrors, crises, and catastrophes. The last time I was here with you, I brought a bouquet of white roses to honor the victims of the Buffalo and Uvalde shootings. And this past week, on Monday, July 4th, we had another mass shooting in Highland Park. And not to mention the countless deaths and injuries caused by the shootings that do not receive so much media attention. 10 deaths and 62 injuries over the July 4th weekend in Chicago. And yet another family shattered and a community in protest after the shooting of an unarmed Black man, and more gun violence deaths just this weekend in Akron, a 4-year-old girl, a 40-year-old man. So much suffering to hold in our small hands and big hearts. So this is why I have been thinking about the amazing and terrible powers we hold in our hands. How one individual can use their hands to hurt, to maim, to kill, and how others will risk their lives as strangers, as civilians, and as trained first responders, and run towards danger to help others. And in the aftermath, willing, caring, loving, giving hands will care for and help the victims heal. And this scenario plays out over and over and over again, day in and day out, all across the globe. And I wish it was different, and I know all of you do too. And I know we hope that the scales tip more to the side of love, to the greater good that is so possible with the tender power of love we hold in our hands. I know in my bones that such a love exists. I see that love so often in my small life. And this is what makes the bad stuff bearable, the intolerable just a little less raw. In the affection and hand-holding of couples about to marry, and their hopes of starting a family and growing old together. In the grieving family members who just want to touch their loved ones in their hospital bed or their casket one last time. In the family and friends who gather at memorials to console one another. In families who are gathered to bless their new babies. In the closeness and amazing support I see and feel in the congregations that I guest minister for. And we heard about that support this morning. Love is happening everywhere. And I hope you are thinking of your own examples of the love you see in the world, of the helping hands, of the good hands. I just saw a very thoughtful question from the actor Tom Hanks. We are still in the position of waking up and having a choice. Do I make the world better today somehow, or do I not bother? So to really describe and illustrate what I mean by the tender power of our hands, the tender power that we hold in our hands, I'd like to share the hand blessing that I share with couples who choose to have a hand fasting in their wedding ceremony. So I have the couple hold their hands, palms up, and look at them, and I say, these are the hands that will work alongside yours as you build your future together. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you through the years, and with the slightest touch will comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow and tears of joy. These are the hands that will tenderly hold your children, the hands that will join your family as one. These are the hands that will give you strength when you need it, support and encouragement to pursue your dreams, and comfort through difficult times. And lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Our hands communicate so very much without even a word being spoken. And I'd like to conclude by offering a hand blessing to all of you. So feel free to hold your hands together or place them on your heart or rest them comfortably on your lap. Just be aware of your hands. May you always know the power you hold in your hands. The power to love, to touch, to serve, to give, to bring healing, comfort, solace, in acts of kindness and justice, in gentle touch and embrace. May the work and play and skill of your hands bring you joy and fulfillment. May your hands never bring harm to another, only blessing. May you take good care of your hands, so they will take good care of you and the others who need you. May it be so.